Lonnie, thank you. This has been a 5-year journey among our two companies. We've got a lot of twists and turns, and some of you are earlier on your journey with us, and we really appreciate you sharing all of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the history of what we've partnered with together. So we're excited. Thank you.
I'm super excited to be here. Hello, everyone. The honor is all mine. I'm here to share all of the secrets about Amazon.
Yes, be gentle. Please be gentle.
Okay, I promise.
Why don't we start by just telling us a little bit about what it is that you do, and I would love if you can give us some insights on what procurement was like for you in the early days.
Oh gosh, well, my boss is not in the crowd, so I can
but there's a live stream later, so.
Oh darn. So my team is that team that gets blamed for everything when our systems don't work. If we can't pay suppliers, it's on us. No, I'm kidding. I lead a team of program managers and analysts who are responsible for partnering with the business and our operations teams to understand what their pain points in procurement are. So where there are gaps in the processes, where there are opportunities. And so we take these, work with our finance leaders to understand, well, from an organizational perspective, what are our priorities? So is it cost savings this half? Is it our recommended supplier program? Is it supplier diversity? And we take all of that information and we build out a roadmap for source to pay, and we deliver on it.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how about that? You've been in procurement for a bit, and so tell us a little bit about the early days for you.
So I come from a background in a variety of industries. I've worked for government agencies. I worked at the World Bank for quite a bit. Procurement there is very interesting. From there, I was in oil and gas for a while as well. And in these wonderful organizations I worked in, I had to take my own pencil, my own pen, my own stapler to work. No offense to anyone in oil and gas.
Wait, we saw that movie. The
we're
guy
frugal.
in the basement
No.
with the stapler kind of thing.
Literally. And
Okay.
when I didn't do that, I had to make a quick run to Starbucks, get a latte for Debbie, our wonderful admin, and do a little trade by barter. I give you a latte, you give me a stapler.
Smart move.
Coming to Meta was a complete eye-opener. So not only did we have vending machines where you just badge in if you need anything, or COVID test even, it's in the vending machine. I'm not making this up, Cindy can confirm. If you need headsets, whatever the case, so we have a vending machine. We have a supply cabinet that's not manned by Debbie, so you can get whatever you need.
No lattes needed.
And then we have an eProcurement system that is integrated with Amazon Business, and anyone can access it. It was an eye-opener. I had a conversation with our VP, and I'm like, anyone can buy it? Like, you're not worried about cost savings? Like, we're Meta. At the time, we were Facebook. Cost savings was not a thing. And so it was a complete 360 from where I was coming from, where you didn't have access, like easy access to any of these supplies, and you had to rely on Debbie with a little latte to get the things you need.
Come a long way.
Come a long way.
All right, I've got some business questions, but everybody in this room, what we really are here for is, what's your favorite social media app? Are you a Facebook? Are you an Insta? What's your story?
TikTok. I'm kidding. So I'm not gonna, that was a joke. I'm not gonna age myself, but I was an early adopter of Facebook, but Instagram came around and my vanity kicked in. I can take pictures, I can use filters, I can make myself look pretty and dolled up. So definitely Instagram for sure.
All right, and I feel like somebody's grandmother right now because I'm still on Facebook, but okay.
Come on over, Chris.
All right,
Instagram's amazing.
Okay, thank you for sharing. We all have our stories of what things were like for us if we were in procurement or supply chain in the early days of the pandemic, and we had to make a lot of pivots. And I know you had to do a lot to help people to be productive to work from home, but you did a lot more. And so that was a big journey. We'd love to hear about that multi-year journey and challenges, any uglies you need to share with us, and maybe any positive surprises as well.
There are a lot of uglies, but we won't tell everything.
Okay.
No one expected, I don't think anyone in this room predicted we'll be home for as long as we were. And if you did, then you should have just bet on it and so made $1 million or something. But honestly, when the pandemic happened, we went from, oh, I'm going to the vending machine to badge in and get what I need, to not having access to anything. We shut down our facilities overnight, and employees were shocked. Well, I need this, I need a phone case, I need that Elgato streaming deck thingy from Amazon Business that I have no idea what it's used for, but it's very popular. No one could access these things because we didn't have any capabilities outside of getting the items in the office. And so we had to think quickly, like, how do we do this? Do we give everyone money? Do we tell you to expense all the things? Or can we partner with Amazon Business to find a solution, which we did. And the one thing I will say is, shout out to Ryan, Amazon Business moved really fast with us. Like, our values at Meta is move fast. It used to be move fast and break things, but now it's just move fast. And we had to figure out, how do we get employees what they need at home quickly? So the first thing was like, okay, Ryan, I have to make sure that in the next week or two, we can figure out a way to build out an experience for employees at home. Your amazing, amazing professional services team and strategic executives just like, okay, what do you need from us? What catalogs do we need to set up? What does curation look like? I'm like, curation, we have over 70,000 employees. Let's not worry about curation right now. Remember, cost savings was not a big deal at the time. And it was more about get them what they need when they need it. And so your teams were able to provide that white glove service to stand up a ship to home option for us. In addition, we realized that, well, this thing is not 1 week or two, so what do we do longer term? And then we're like, well, we can build in your approvals, set the thresholds for things from ship to home, figure out, well, if an employee is at home, what do you need? And so the Amazon Business teams helped us curate that experience. So is it routers? Is it a crib? No,
Who
no
would
cribs.
have thought it was routers? But cribs?
Cribs were on that mix, but we learned from that, and we were able to pivot, and I think we'll talk about that as we go along.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. So it's, the obvious statement is the economic landscape has changed in the last year. It's been a big challenge, and MetaMates, as you call them, and at my company we call them Amazonians, and we say happy anniversary, and so your MetaMates, as you said, have a culture of moving fast. I Google searched it. It's one of your.
I can't believe that's on the internet.
One of your, your top principles. It's moving fast, and so how do you get MetaMates what they need without sacrificing compliance, cost, but the speed associated with it? And I know we were talking recently, and I was howling when you told me the story about Versace. Please tell this crew.
So it's Versace, Lululemon leggings, Roomba, gazebo. I mean, not to scare you off, we fixed all those issues, but it was literally anything that you could justify. So if I'm sitting here, the light is hitting me, which an employee in an Austin office was, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't focus. The light is blinding me, and the only thing I need is a pair of Versace sunglasses because that's the only way I can do my job. And guess what? Amazon Business has Versace sunglasses and proceeds to order it. Or the mom, who, bless her heart, is at home. Her little one needs to be enclosed in something while she's working. So that is a business purchase. Okay. And she orders a playpen for the baby. Okay. And so when we first set this up, it was get MetaMates what they need. And then we realized that that was on steroids, and we needed to figure out, like, the beauty of it is that we had the analytics, which informed us, so we're grateful, but we had to pivot quickly. And so it was no longer move fast, but it was like move fast with compliance, move fast with cost efficiencies in the back of your mind. And so we started to partner with your teams on harnessing the data to see what are the things they are buying. Let's curate that and figure out what do you really need, because no one needs Versace sunglasses because the light is hitting you. Buy that with your own money. But we were able to build out the guided buying policies from there. And we were able to curate that experience where you sort of provide that illusion of freedom. So you think you have everything in Amazon Business, but we have the controls in there. And you have the preferred policies too. So if we know we want you buying a certain type of item or certain category, we'll mark it as preferred. Again, we use the data to help us inform, like, what are the things we want employees to buy? What are the things we don't want you to buy? So the Roombas and the Versaces will get blocked, while all the other things that you need to do your job are made available. And that white glove service took that onus off of us. We didn't have to lift a finger. We didn't have to have the entire procurement organization looking through the data. Like, the analytics in Amazon Business was able to provide that information at a glance.
Right. So ixnay on the Versace. You fixed that.
I mean, if my VP allows it, maybe, but I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, so our guided buying policies allowed you to get really picky about that, because I know that that's when we all think about the buying experience on Amazon.com, and you're thinking about that for business, like, you want to surface the items that you want, and you want to make sure there's no employee abuse. So I'm glad that we're able to do that for you. So.
Yeah, and it still gives you that illusion of, I have access to everything, but embedded in there are insights. So in the guided buying policies, you can specify and say, hey, this item is marked preferred because we support diverse suppliers, which is available, and that's one of our big goals, is supporting diverse suppliers. Or this item is preferred because it's from there's something related to sustainability. And so we want to highlight those things. But then, yeah, the Versace sunglasses are blocked because this is the procurement policy. And those messages are customizable, which is amazing. We can embed our procurement policy in there, which we did. And so we also use that to educate the employees as well, because a lot of them don't know the policy, and they shouldn't have to. But Amazon Business was able to provide a platform where we took that off of our hands and we're able to just link that in there. So if you wonder, well, why is this blocked? Well, the policy is linked, and you can read it, and Versace is not in the policy. So.
Good, got it. You know, I've been spending a lot of time with our customers this week having discussions, and a lot of people have been in the procurement space for a while, but a lot of people are coming from digital roles and strategy roles, and it's just really exciting to see that procurement has a seat at the CEO's table, and it's all about transformation, and it's not just about cost cutting, it's about the top line and speed and time to market and things like that. And all I keep hearing from everyone over these last couple of days is, I want to make the user experience frictionless. And there's a lot of just stumbling and fumbling and so many different ERP systems and PO processes, and it's all about making the experience frictionless. And you have, like, I want to be your best friend because you've got like a really good sense of humor. You were cracking me up.
Sweet.
So we were talking, Lonnie and I were talking about making things frictionless, and the way you described it was Willy Wonka for adults in the office, and I loved that. So some of you don't even know what the heck I'm talking about.
I can
You've
see
not
the blank
seen
faces.
that movie, but check it out. Tell us more about what that means and what you've done to kind of enable that.
So for us, the user experience is a very big deal. We want you to come to Buyout, which is our procurement ecosystem that we built in-house. Shout out to our engineers. And we want you to land in Buyout and know where to go. We don't want you to have to think, well, how do I get what I need? And so the start of the journey all the way through the end of the journey, like, it's really important to make sure that that user experience is seamless. And our mission is actually build an unrivaled end-to-end buying journey for all MetaMates. And so for us, that meant that we have to host a catalog in a way that it's integrated in our ecosystem without you feeling like I'm actually going out to a different experience. And that's what we've been able to do with Amazon Business. So we have the punch-out catalog, and you start your journey in Buyout. You can either start with a search keyword that takes you to Amazon Business, or you go directly to Amazon Business knowing what you want. But landing in the homepage, we were able to work with your teams to build out a year catalog, which is sort of like a curated starting point that highlights certain things around, well, hey, are you looking for that iPhone magic thing that everyone seems to like? Or are you looking for this? So it sort of gives you prompts to take you on a journey and guides you through the process. And I think the user experience is one of the things where everyone uses Amazon at home. And so we wanted to bring that same seamless, easy to use experience to the workplace. And that's where, like, the Willy Wonka for adults comes in, because you can go into the Amazon Business catalog without having to even think about, well, how do I search for something? How do I click on the things I need? So the Your catalog helped elevate that by putting it at a glance, things that Meta wanted employees to see as soon as they landed on the homepage, and then provided navigation guidance, like, are you looking for ergo? Click here, and if you're looking for ergonomic items, you can just easily navigate there. Are you looking for books? These are some recommendations. So the journey was actually a little too good, because then you have employees just buying all the things that we recommend. But the point was, they didn't have to go outside of the experience. You could easily navigate, and you can check out without needing a lot of assistance in the process.
Cool. And you have some homegrown tools, right?
We have all the homegrown tools.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish we'll just
painful.
buy.
Yeah.
But it's the beauty of Meta. Like, we push the envelope with innovation. And it's sort of why we love working with Amazon Business, because every time we talk about, well, why aren't we innovating in that way? It's like, oh, we're already doing that. And so we constantly are in lockstep as far as ideas when we talk about automation. When Meta's saying, well, why aren't we automating that Amazon Business? Like, it's on our roadmap. And we build our tools, but it's also nice to have a partner who understands the vision and is also doing the same thing.
And willing to integrate.
100%.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So we've talked about tech and compliance and cost savings and things like that, and you know, we have been on a 5-year journey together, but I'm sure you probably have hundreds of thousands of suppliers to choose from, and probably still maybe almost that many. But what do you really look for in a more strategic partner beyond just the, you know, the cost, the tech, et cetera?
So when we started out, we had several partners who provided, I say a like experience. There are some really big names that start with the O and an S and they shall remain nameless, who were on our ecosystem as well. But over time, as we wanted to streamline the experience, we realized that not everyone could be as agile as we needed them to be. Mm-hmm. So Meta is a company where today we want our partners to do everything blue. Tomorrow it's green. Tomorrow we need you to provide that service in Europe. The next day it's in APAC. And not everyone can meet our demands in the way in which we're a very needy customer, but we're Meta. So when I say that we push the envelope, we literally push the envelope, but we're also expecting our partners to understand our needs, meet us where we are, and be able to innovate as we need. And so outside of cost and tech, like that agility, the ability to pivot and meet Meta where we need to be, that's the first thing. The second thing is we are Meta. That customer service has to be top notch. We are a very demanding customer, and we expect that our partners are able to cater to our needs. There are times where I'm sending a message to John and Ryan at like 1 a.m. like, oh my gosh, things are happening. We need you to do this. And they're like, done. And I'm like, no pushback? I love it. And so we don't have a lot of partners who have the ability to pivot as quickly as Meta needs. Amazon Business, bar none. And that's kind of why we ended up having Amazon Business as one of like the sole providers for all of the IT peripherals. And now as we look towards like more MRO, it's Amazon Business we're leaning on because not a lot of partners are able to meet our needs in the way you are.
What we appreciate, and what we also appreciate at events like this, and speaking to all of you, is for you to innovate with us and you pushing us on our roadmap. The pace of which we innovate based on customer feedback is pretty amazing, and so we appreciate you pushing us and helping to influence our roadmap. That brings me to a funny story in the early days where, and working with Ryan, your account executive, Ryan told me this story how, you know, Lonnie's always giving me life tips. It's so cute. And, you know, sage advice and things like that. Because, you know, you're in the trenches together, you do a little bit of bonding. And then one day, Lonnie's like, the dude's 10 years older than me.
I don't know.
So what was up with that, the life tips?
I don't know what fountain of life he's drinking from, but the man looks like...
Where is he?
He doesn't age. He's somewhere in the crowd.
Where is Ryan?
There he is.
Shout out.
Shout out to Ryan.
He's in the front row.
Please.
He's in the front row.
Honestly.
Shout out to Ryan. Yes.
I don't, honestly. And so
and John Szyminski's somewhere out there
somewhere
too.
In the crowd.
Since the beginning. Yes.
No, but we sort of became a family with Amazon Business. We spent so much time like sharing ideas. Whenever it's roadmap planning for us, we're like, okay, Ryan, here we go. We need this. And so we ended up becoming, I would say it's not even a partner-vendor relationship. We're a family with Amazon Business. And we would share all these tips with Ryan, like, you know what? Like, life is hard, you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you're young, you know, as you get older, like, life just hits you, and your career, and Ryan would say, not a word. And I don't know when he eventually revealed his age,
yeah, Lonnie.
But my colleagues and I were like, what? How's that even possible? Like this man who looks like he's 20 years old, and we're giving life advice about all the things, like with your career, don't worry, you have time to grow. But all the while he's looking at it like, I have lived 10 lifetimes, woman. But and again, like it goes beyond the customer-vendor relationship. Like, bar none, everyone knows, like, we champion Amazon business. Even when we have growing pains, it's like, don't worry. Like, I tell my leaders, they'll fix it. They love us. It's meta. And it's the one thing we'll highlight, that customer obsession that you talk about. It's not a tagline. Amazon business, they are obsessed with Ryan is obsessed with me, by the way. They are obsessed with their customers.
I think it was worth spending a little bit of time talking about people. All we do is talk about tech in these conferences, so thank you so much. That means
we have the best.
That means a lot.
We have the best partners.
That means a lot to us. I know AI is like you can't go to any event without anybody's spin on AI. It's pretty exciting, and our state of procurement report is basically saying that 80% of you within the next year or two are going to be doing something pretty meaningful with AI in the procurement space. And so, what's your take, Lonnie? Anything you're excited about as you're exploring?
I'm excited. I'm also shocked that a lot of people don't know we've been leveraging AI for a really long time. A lot of the search algorithms, they're AI and machine learning backed. And for us, it's almost like, well, okay, now you're just getting onto AI. It's been around for a while. But there's also this misconception that it's going to come and change everything on its own. No, AI needs time to learn and to evolve. But I'm excited about the opportunities. For us internally, Meta is all about the year of efficiency. And for us, we are leveraging all things artificial intelligence in order to make the way we do our jobs a lot easier. People are afraid, like, oh, that means I won't have a job. No. There's still what is called the human in the loop as far as AI is concerned, especially now where that human intelligence is still needed. But what AI does, it makes you more efficient. And in the year of efficiency, that's super important. So some examples would be like in our purchasing space, we're leveraging AI to flag purchasing anomalies. So if something looks odd or looks weird, you don't need 10 people to review it. You build that model, put the intelligence in, and then over time someone can review that. So that human in the loop element is still there till we get to a certain level of accuracy. But the beauty of it is, like, it will take away some of the manual tasks and the manual reviews that are happening. So we take your UNSPSCs and some search parameters.
I don't know how to who can say that?
Ryan.
I mean, Ryan
He's repeated enough.
Okay.
And so you take the UNSPSCs, you marry that with like search keywords, and you build out the machine learning and the artificial intelligence to be able to tell you when there's something off with things people are buying. It gives leaders insights into purchasing trends. So we see where there's a spike here, and it's because these organizations are buying XYZ. And we use it across the board in procurement. So we have it flagging abnormal invoices, duplicate invoices. So if some lines aren't matching or there are variances, we're using that generative AI knowledge to help flag these anomalies. In the contracting space, there's also like curation of the contract metadata and parsing through that, and we're leveraging AI as well. So across our source-to-pay processes, we're definitely looking at how generative AI can make our lives a lot easier. And I think everyone should just embrace it, but not be afraid of it. It really makes life more efficient.
Cool. You're like way ahead of it, way before the buzzword came out.
Thanks to Mark. He's been talking about this for a really long time, but I think we're all still learning in the process,
Sure.
even though it's not a new technology. It evolves over time, and I think that's what's happening now.
Cool. Well, on the heels of that question, you've got a lot of experience in the AI space, and this is my last question for you today. You told me that a lot of our customers have started to seek you out in terms of how you're doing business with Amazon Business and perhaps some other solutions as well. And so I guess, what's your advice for this audience on being in this world where you need to reduce costs, but you can't just be on a hamster wheel. You need to continue to push forward and constantly innovate. So what would your advice be to the audience here?
So before I give you my advice, my billable hours are $450 an hour. I will send you a bill.
You got it. We
No,
got
but,
you.
I mean, we've been approached by so many of your soon-to-be customers, potential customers, wanting to know, one, how are we using Amazon Business? And we're happy to share with them that, one, you get that bespoke-like experience with Amazon Business. So you think it's built specifically for you and your organization, when in turn you have God knows how many customers. But it takes away the need for your organization to have to curate everything internally. That white glove service that's provided is, bar none, probably the best thing that we can ask for from a partner. And we share that with a lot of the potential customers as well, saying, you just give them your procurement policy, and they will help you figure out how to integrate. Do you have labs who have special needs? Do you have admins who have special needs? Do you have the facilities teams who have special needs? You can curate and build out that experience with Amazon Business. So it's not a one-size approach, just plug it in and go and it will work. Like, you can specify, like, I want my experience with an Amazon Business to be like this, and Amazon Business meets you that way. And like, as we move forward in the year of efficiency, taking that onus off the company, it allows you to spend your time doing more things, like figuring out, okay, as we move forward, a lot of companies are thinking, how do we become more efficient? What are we going to do with managed spend and planned spend? And it gives you room to focus on the more strategic things that you have planned for the future. And I know, speaking of Meta in particular, we're now looking at how do we make our data work for us? Where are the potentials for more cost savings? I mean, when we think about Amazon Business and you have amazing opportunities for discounts, you have a wonderful incentive program, like, we start thinking beyond just setting up the catalog, and with the service that your ProServe team provides, you take a lot of that work off of procurement professionals. So companies are able to take their procurement professionals and utilize them for other more strategic things, and you focus on other priorities. So looking at bulk buying and opportunities for more MROs, like other things beyond just focusing on how to harness your tail spend and put control on that.
So you've got like a moment to breathe. You got the tail spend pretty much running in a pretty good way. Then you can talk about like large bulk buy needs, things over 1,000, and category, right? Category opportunities.
Yeah.
Well, we are a few sessions before magic, and so, but I think this session was absolutely awesome. And so, everyone, please give me a big round of applause for Lani from Meta.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Chris.